Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to be going over the build of my truck, and I'm going to be walking y'all through every single bit of mods that I've got on here. So if that interests you, stay tuned. So I guess I'll go a little bit over the background and the history of my truck. So I've got a TRD 4x4 Sport. This is a 2017 Toyota Tacoma, automatic transmission, all that. So I got this pretty much when they came out with this new body style. So it's 2024 now, so it's been, what is that, 4, 5, 6, 7 years I've had this thing now, which is kind of crazy to think about. But I guess I'll just start with the front. So if we look right here, we got several different things going on in the front. I've got this, I guess I'll just start off with this bumper here. It is a ADD or AD, or however you want to put it. It's pretty sure it's Addictive Desert Designs is the company that makes this bumper, and if I remember correctly, it is the Honey Badger bumper. So all right, there goes my cat just scratching my truck. She's got plenty of scratches already, but this is the bumper you're working with. So it's actually a pretty clean finish. I like how they came with these LEDs on the side, so that way when you're driving, you can kind of get a nice angle, you know, coming out, so you can see everything on the trail at night. And when you buy this, it comes with a curved light bar to actually fit in this middle section. But they did not give me a curved light bar, they gave me a straight light bar. And so it just looked really goofy, kind of sitting in the curve and the edge. So what I did is I just kept that in there for a while with the regular light bar that was in there. And then I bought this winch, which is an Ironman 4x4 winch. I bought this, and there's a little section for you to have the winch come out the bottom and the bumper right here, and this is made for the light bar. But for putting your actual winch inside of this bumper, you have like no room at all. There's no place to put it. It is directly in front of that light bar. So you kind of have to make a game time decision. For me, I've already got plenty of LED lights, so I was like, you know what, I really need a winch, so I went with the winch. But the bumper, it's done well for me so far. I really like the look of it. It kind of just changes that front angle, you know, just makes it a little bit more, I don't know, aggressive to me. So I don't like the style of it, you know. I didn't want to go too beefy. A lot of guys have a bunch of body armor and stuff coming up through here, but I kind of like the sleek look. You don't want to be, oh, I almost dropped the camera, don't want to be too, like, you know, crazy looking. I want it to still look pretty clean. So that's what I got from my bumper. And then I guess since I already talked about the winch, we'll go on and talk about that a little bit more. So I've got the Ironman 4x4 12,000 pound capacity winch. So I've got this little thing on the front right here that powers the winch. You got to have this in a place available. It's usually probably put up in the engine bay, but small truck, you don't have a lot of space to put stuff in there, especially with a bunch of stuff I've already got. So we just put it on the front. It's like, well, you know what, I mean, got a little bit of clearance in the front. This is really the only place I've got up here. So you've got a little plug right here you can plug your remote control into, and then you can power your whole winch, or you can do it wirelessly. The remote has that capability, so that's pretty nice. But I haven't had to use it so far. Haven't gotten in any situations that I've really gotten stuck or anything like that, but it's always good to have one, especially when you're by yourself most of the time like me. You know, if you get stuck or anything happens, you have a greater chance of getting out. And then moving on to the grill, this is aftermarket DB Customs, I believe is the company's name, out of Florida. And it just looks really clean to me. You know, it just looks rugged. I like how it's got all these little nuts coming through here, and you've got Tacoma on the front. This actually lights up at night red, so that goes well kind of with my black and red color scheme I've got going on with the entire truck. So I really just liked the look of this bumper or grill, so I got it. And it's real easy. Most of the stuff you get for the Tacoma's aftermarket is plug and play mostly. So, you know, it's nothing too crazy. You just pop out a bunch of tabs and pop them back in. So that's what you're looking at for this grill. But it's just a quality, nice grill. Had no problems with it so far. Ever since I've, you know, wired it up all those years ago, it's been fine. I've had no problems. So definitely would recommend it if you have. And it's not just Toyotas they do. I think they do a lot of other trucks as well. If you're looking to put something like that on your truck, just real clean grill. And they make it for full sizes and stuff. I know I ordered one for my 2023 Tundra that is supposed to be on the way soon. So I might make a video on that as well if y'all want to see any about the Tundra. Probably not going to make that one fully decked out off-road. That's more of a work truck right now. So, but still gonna make it look nice. So I guess I'll move on here from the grill. We'll go to these headlights. I don't remember the exact name of these headlights. I will post in the description though. I bought them off of Tacoma Beast and they're actually pretty clean. I like them. They got this daytime running light on the outside that is real nice, and they're also sequential. Can't really see it too much, but with the lights on, you got two beams right here. These are for your highs and these are just for your, you know, regular running. You got this daytime running light strip on the outside, kind of hard. Well, you can kind of see it decent in the video in the daytime, and then they look real good at night when, you know, it's not too dark yet. Let me actually turn this on so my blinker, well, my key's not in here, so great. Well, I'll get a shot of the blink alerter for y'all. But you know, they've been good headlights. I've had them on here probably 4 or 5 years now. This side over here is actually messing up. The daytime running light is fine and the side panel's fine, but my headlight actual beam in there is not working. And haven't looked too far into that. It's aftermarket. My other one still works fine, so it might just be time to buy some new headlights for the front. I don't know if they replace those bulbs because they're kind of in there real tight for this aftermarket ones, but I don't know. So maybe might buy a new pair here at some point. But regardless, I really like them. They're clean. They weren't like the most budget breaking option out there. They're relatively cheap among most of the headlights you can get. So those are what I went with. And I guess we'll move down to the side here. Moving on from the front and the bumper and all that, headlights, we'll move on to tires. So I guess we'll, actually let me get on this side so I have a little bit more sun. So I rock some Cooper tires, nothing crazy, don't have any BFGs, nothing insane like that. And then I've got some Pro Comp wheels. I've had these on for the entire time just about with this truck, so probably like, I don't know, probably 6 to 7 years I've had these on there instead of these stock Toyota rims that come with it. The tire size, it's not a true 35, it's the LT 305 by 70 R17. So not a true 35, but they are like the closest thing I can fit to that on here without rubbing really bad. There's already been a little bit of cutting down there that I've had to do that was just to even get this in there. So it's hard to get a lot into a little bit of space. You know, of course you get lifts and stuff like that to help you out, but I've got a 3-inch lift and some aftermarket shocks on here. I've got the Bilstein aftermarket shocks. So with those shocks combined with the 3-inch lift, I'm looking at about a 4 to 4.5 inch lift in total to be able to fit these tires on here. So you definitely got to get at least 4 to 6 inches if you're going to want to put a really big tire size on here. If not, you're probably looking at maxing out at about a 33 for a Tacoma. But you know, regardless, they're not massive trucks. You don't necessarily need massive tires. So 33s would work just fine. I ran those for the longest. But for the aftermarket Bilstein shocks, they actually work pretty well. I didn't want to break the budget at the time of buying, you know, some shocks. Of course you want to go on off-road, but you don't need, you know, the most expensive shocks out there just to go. So you can go with any, you know, suspension you have. But So I just want to get something a little bit more, you know, stockier. I've got a lot of weight on this truck, as you can see, so definitely not what those original shocks came with, you know, not where they're really rated for, having all that stuff and all that. So I want to get those, and then we'll move on to the side here, keep going on down the truck. I feel like every basic Toyota owner has these step bars. I see them on like every single one. They're like the generic, I don't even know, I think my dad, or these actually might have come with the truck when we got it really early on. Broke that doing some trails in Moab, so made it more into a rock slider, I guess. But I mean, I've had these, they're pretty generic, they work fine, they're pretty strong. Even like on that right there, I hit that probably 4 or 5 times before it actually broke off, so on some pretty nasty rocks in Moab. So, you know, it's pretty durable. It's just a generic, I don't even know the name, it was already on the truck when I got it. I see them on a bunch of Toyotas, and I'm sure y'all have too. But continuing to move down the side here, I guess since we're sticking low, we already went over suspension and tires and all that. We'll move down to the exhaust. So I've got a MagnaFlow, I believe it's a street series, or I might have gotten off-road, I don't quite remember, but I mean, it sounds pretty good. I didn't want nothing too obnoxious, you know, I don't want to be sounding like a big country yeehaw boy, you know, going down the road beside you with a squad truck. I wanted to still look, you know, respectable, clean, so just have a little bit more of a roar to it. So that's what I went with, is the MagnaFlow. It wasn't too hard of an install, even though I did accidentally order the longer one instead of the one that fit my truck, so me and my dad had to cut, but we still made it fit, and fits, you know, well, and sounds good regardless. So that's what I got for my exhaust. Moving on up here, I have got a 7-gallon water tank right here, and I'll use this. It's from Waterport, kind of hard to see, but that's the name underneath there. It's Waterport is the brand, and it works well. You can pressurize it, so you can just connect your spigot and your little hose, and you can spray it right out. On hot days where it gets warm, you don't really need to use your, well, for me, I've got a like a little shower camping system with a water heater in there, so I can connect this up there when it's cold. But on hot days, since this is black, the whole truck's black, it's already attracting heat, and so you can just use this puppy at the end of the day and it's already warm with that water in there. So I use this a lot, especially when you are, you know, cooking or anything like that, and you need to wash off your cooking utensils and stuff like that. It's really nice to have. So just fit this on the side. I used to have it on the top, but that's before when I had a different camping setup. So I just stuck this on the side. Looks clean. It takes up most of this CBI Overland bed rack right here, but you know, need it. So that's what I got right here on this side. And since we are on the middle part of the truck, I guess I'll just hop to the other side. Yet again, the bed rack, CBI, pretty sure it's just like the Overlander, named the Overlander bed rack, if you can see right there, CBI. And I've got Rotopax 2.5 gallon little can right there. There's my cat, thinks he owns the world. And then I've got some off-brand Max Tracks right here. I think these are from Amazon. I mean, I didn't even, when I bought these, it was like when I first got the truck, and I just wanted something to look like I was like an off-roader. So this is what I got right here. And I've only had to use these maybe like one time, and I got the actual Rotopack mounts so they don't line up, but I made them line up. And that's a good thing about this bed rack. You have plenty of slots to be able to put stuff in, and then you have interior slots as well. Like, that's how I got my propane tank hung up on the inside right here. So you've got plenty of room really to work with this Overland bed rack. So if you're wanting to, you know, put a lot of stuff on the side, then this is a good setup. And it's got 3 layers back here, or 3 rows, I guess you can say. to put your tent, whatever tent you've got up here. For me, I've got the Ironman 4x4 hard shell. I'll have to look up the full name of it, but it's just a big old hard shell. I mean, I used to have a soft shell and it was just not it. I mean, you know, it was comfortable first couple of times using it, but you don't have that protection you do with the hard shell, just about like weather and all that. Well, it'll kick your butt and it will ruin that soft shell tent if you don't take like really good care of it. And I don't want to be taking my tent off of my truck every single time I'm done camping. I just want to leave it up there. So it's already a lot to put it on there. So this is what I went with. We got a bunch of stickers over here. It's got plenty of space to put some of your own little design on it. And then it's got these. I've got another rack that you can put, so if you want to even go even taller, even higher with wherever you're going, like if you're going you know, canoeing or something like that, you can put some of that stuff on the top and be able to strap it down up there. But this is a real easy tent. All you do is unlatch both of those sides, and then it just kind of automatically springs up. And then all you've got to do is put 2 sets of those metal poles in that allow it to be open for you to go into. And it's got a condensation mat and all that underneath there, so you really have everything you need in that one, you know, tent. So I just bought that and done, easy. So move up to the top. We've got a Rome Adventure Company 95 liter storage case up there. I just put it for extra storage. It just kind of looks cool on the front, in my opinion. And I put the opening facing like it'll be opening that way. You don't want it all that wind coming in and, you know, trying to mess up your box. But you can take these little side panels, little holding points off, but I've left them on so they kind of clank on the truck some of the time, so it can be a little noisy in there. But there's an option to take that off. If any water ever gets in there, it's waterproof. You've got this little corner nozzle you can undo so the water comes out, and then you have no water in there anymore. So I really like that 95 liter case. I usually just put my cooking utensils or, you know, my camping tent or my chair up there, so nothing like too crazy. It's just nice to have the extra storage when you've already got everything you're taking on top of, you know, everything you're taking. You know, you can take a lot of stuff when you're out camping, so it's just nice to be able to fit some stuff in there instead of having to fill up the cab even more or the bed when you're already taking up a lot of that space. And then I guess I forgot about these right here. We've got these little rigid cube lights. I've got one on that side, one on this side, just mounted up top on the roof rack, so that way, you know, get plenty of light at night when you're on the trail for up top, you know, combined with the lights I've got down here and then those cubes up there. I'm seeing everything I need to see. And that's the good thing about this bumper, again, is that these side ones, I mean, you will see everything in front of you. Those kind of point out diagonal, and then the cubes handle the middle, and so you're really getting a full view of sight of the trail at night. So I really like that. And then, oh, speaking of trail at night, I just put these in yesterday. They're the Pro Comp rock lights, so I've got those underneath all the wheels, so those help out at nighttime if you're on the trail as well. And then we'll move on to the bumper back here, the rear side, the last part of the truck we got to go over. So first off, rip, I broke this tail light a couple days ago, but it is what it is. Still looks good. I actually was able to fit that piece in there and just kind of jam it in there, and it stayed in there for like a week. But these are the tail lights I'm rocking. They're also from Tacoma Beast. I know now they make a sequential style of it, and I've got the regular version because it's when they first came out with it. But they're clean. I really like them. Kind of add like a 3D design to it. It's not so bland, so, you know, just flat. So it gives it a little bit of life. I really enjoy it. The only thing is these don't come with reverse lights. So I thought that was kind of weird. You think like down here would be like a big old, you know, reverse, but there's no reverse light. So kind of weird, but I mean, you know, it works out. And if you have some lights on the back of your bumper or anything that you put in for reverse anyway, kind of exchange it for that. But I don't, so I just don't have reverse lights, so just watch where you're going. But for the rear bumper, I put this in the other day. It's the Ironman 4x4 Raid Series bumper for the Toyota Tacoma. You've got these really nice eyebrows or eyelids, whatever you want to call them, right here on the side. Really hard, real durable, looks clean, has these recovery points underneath, so you kind of match the front of the truck with the red shackles. You got the red recovery points back here. It goes with the black and red scheme I've got going on with the truck. Another Ironman 4x4 product. Again, this is like, it's just, I really enjoy ordering from them because they get things here quick too. Like I bought this 2 days ago and now I've already got it on my truck. So, you know, a lot of companies, well, living over here in Alabama, you know, a lot of those overland companies are over out west, you know, where all the big stuff is happening. And so you don't really have, you know, that immediate service you might have if you lived in that state or anywhere out west. So it can take a lot to get over here sometimes. So it's just nice to have a company that you can buy your product and know it's going to get here and know it's going to get here safe quickly. So I really enjoy this bumper though. You've got room for 4 total in this bumper, but I've only got 2. They come with the amber cube lights from Ironman 4x4. So those are really clean and they're really bright at night, especially since you don't really have any reverse lights on here. If you've got to use them, you know, especially on the trail, you've got plenty of light still. So I really enjoy this bumper. You know, I didn't want to get a rear bumper where I had to cut like all of that fender and part of the rear bumper off, like I kind of had to do for the front, cutting up there. I get it's more ideal for clearance and all that stuff, but I'm really not looking to cut too much back here. I don't want to add too much more weight on here. I have re-geared my truck. I believe the original gear set is like 3.8 for the ratio, and I think I've upgraded to 4.6 or 4.8. I can't quite remember. I bought my re-gear set, they're the Nitro gear set. I bought them off of Tacoma Beast as well, and they've been put in, and that's a major game changer. But I didn't want to have so much weight on here, you know, even with after re-gearing, because it's just like, it's a lot of weight on the truck. You don't want to put too much on there. You don't want to kill your truck. So I got that re-geared, so I didn't want to add even more weight with this bumper, so I just went with this one. It's actually really easy to install. You just take your hitch off and your original rear bumper, and you kind of just assemble the other one and use some of those bolts to put this back in, and that's pretty much it. It really only took me maybe 2 hours by myself to install it. So highly recommend this rear bumper if you're looking for one for your Toyota or whatever vehicle you may have. But onto the re-gearing, that is probably the most essential thing you'll need to do if you're adding on this much weight. If you're making a truck straight for overlanding and camping and stuff like that, because you got a lot of extra weight on here. You think about the tires, shocks, bumper, rear bumper, you got, you know, camping setup. Like that tent right there, I don't know how heavy it is, but it is heavy. When I tried to like move it when it first came in to my house, I like could barely budge that thing. It's so big. I had to get 3 of my other buddies, 2 on each side, to lift this thing just to put it up there. So combined with that, the bed rack, tires, bumpers, you know, roof rack, everything you've got going on in here, recovery gear in the back, it's a lot. So I had to re-gear my truck. I want to say it was maybe in Colorado 2 years ago. Me and my brother, who y'all haven't seen on the channel yet, but he'll be in some future videos. He's got a white Overlanding Tacoma like me, and we were out in Colorado, and we were doing this trail that had a lot of incline. So probably 6 or 7 kind of steeper hills that we were going up, and it was about the 7th, 8th one I got to, my truck just stopped. She was like, you know what, I've had enough, I weigh too much, I ain't got no power no more. So I had to back down all those 7 hills to get back down because I had a lot of weight on my truck. So that's one thing to keep in mind if you're looking to really upgrade your truck. It's just a lot of weight, so you want to be able to counteract that weight with regearing. And now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of wish I would have gone for the highest gear ratio. It was 5 point something, but I went with the 4.6 or 4.8, and it still works great. But the more you add on, I mean, it's endless. You can add so many different things to your truck, your vehicle. So the more you add on, the more, of course, weight you have that comes along with the vehicle. But you know, you give and you take. I also forgot I do have this one thing back here for support, talking about weight. So when you add all this stuff onto your bed rack, onto your tailgate, you're gonna want some extra supports. So I've got some support beams right here on this side and this side that screw into both the bottom and the side of your rear part of the truck. So that way, you know, over time, all this weight will push out on your sides, and you don't want that. So just a little bit of added, you know, reinforcement here never hurts. And it's really comes down to a lot of this stuff when you get to buying and putting as much stuff as you have on as me. You know, a lot of that extra weight, you just want to be able to counteract it. So that's really all I've got on my truck. I've had this thing for, like I told you in the beginning, it's been about 7 years now, and I've never had a problem with it. I mean, it's ran fine as long as you change the oil. You know, it's fine. I've got probably, I think it's pushing 70,000 miles on it now. I've driven this thing across country 3 different times, you know, across and back. So this thing has never given me any problems. So I can't give it any more praise. But that's pretty much all the walk around that I have on this truck. And I know I didn't get into super specific details. If y'all want me to do a video where I go into super specific details and overall my camping gear and stuff like that, because I've got a lot of aftermarket camping gear and stuff that I take with me usually when I am camping, then I can do a video like that. But I figured, you know, might as well run through the truck with y'all and show me what you're actually watching, you know, what truck actually has on it and what it's actually running with. So if you watch this video, I appreciate it. If you've got a Toyota Tacoma and you're looking to do some stuff like this and looking for, you know, some parts, I'll have some of these things listed in the description down below, so you can click on those. And appreciate you watching the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.